Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to give you a quick tip when it comes to fishing square bill crankbaits. Now I think everyone knows that the square bill is a great bait when it comes to deflecting off wood, rock, or submerged vegetation. I think everybody understands that when you give a square bill crankbait an erratic retrieve, it's going to probably get you a bit more times than just a steady, fast retrieve or a slow retrieve. But what I want to talk about is when you're doing that stop and start retrieve, I want to talk about the stop. I think one thing that a lot of people overlook is that when they are bringing the bait in and they hit something and it deflects off of it, they give it just a second pause and then they start reeling again. What I'm going to suggest is be very aware of when you're reeling that bait in and it hits something, give it 2 to 3 seconds to hit that, I'll say a submerged log, give it 2 or 3 seconds to hit it and then deflect off the cover. Most of these baits basically start to ascend to the surface in about, I'd say, the distance of a foot per second. So I'm going to suggest that you really start to think about when you stop your retrieve to stop it for at least 2 to 3 seconds. So when you're pulling in, I just hit something, I'm going to stop it for 2 to 3 seconds before I start my retrieve. That'll give the bait time to deflect off of whatever cover it's hit. It'll also keep the bait in the strike zone, so if a fish is tracking that bait and it hears it hit a rock or a stump and it's in the vicinity, as that bait stops and starts to float up towards the surface, it's going to give that fish an extra second to hone in on it. It's also going to give the fish a change of direction. Instead of that bait coming to the boat, it's going to stop and then it's going to start floating up to the surface. A lot of times that will trigger the bite for you. Now, an added benefit to that is when I'm making that cast, I try to keep visual around where I believe my bait is. When I stop the bait, I'm looking in that general vicinity, and a lot of times I will see the color of that bait start to come up. As it comes within a foot or two of the surface, I can start my retrieve. But a benefit to that is as you see that bait, a lot of times you'll be able to watch the fish come out of vegetation or attack the bait. And that visual of having that fish come up and just attack that bait, that's what we live for when we talk about bass fishing. Most of us do that. It's just an amazing situation every time it happens. So with that, remember to stop that bait for a couple of seconds after before you start your retrieve. I think you'll get a lot more fish and it'll be a lot more exciting for you. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys on the river. Until then, good luck.